जनारञ्जनाय यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरावनचारी 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 जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा गोपी जन वल्लभ राधा गोपी जन वल्लभ श्री राधे जय निताय पतित पावन गौर हरि 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल जय गौर हरि बोल। जय गौर सीतानाथ प्रेमानंदे। श्री राधा गोपीजन भगवान की जय। निताय परिसपान गौर हरि भगवान की जय। जगत गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपास्तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरो दिनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्। So, reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 4, chapter number 14, verse number 20. तस्मिन् तुष्टे किं प्राप्यम् जगताम् ईश्वरेश्वरे लोका सपाला हि एतस्मिन् हरन्ति बलिम् आद्रता। तस्मिन् तुष्टे किमप्रायम् अप्राप्यम यस सॉरी तस्मिन् तुष्टे किमप्राप्यम् जगतामीश्वरेश्वरे लोका सपाला हि एतस्मै हरन्ति बलिम् अद्रता। तस्मिन् तुष्टे किमप्राप्यम् जगताम् ईश्वरेश्वरे लोका सपाला हि एतस्मै हरन्ति बलिम् अद्रता। Anyone? तस्मिन् तुष्टे किमप्राप्यम् जगतामीश्वरेश्वरे लोका सपाला हि एतस्मै हरन्ति बलिमाद्रता। तस्मिन् तुष्टे किमप्राप्यम् जगतामीश्वरेश्वरे लोका सपाला हि एतस्मै हरन्ति बलिम् अद्रता। Synonym word for word. Tasmin, he, when he, to stay, is satisfied. Kim, what? aprapyam, impossible to achieve, jagatam, of the universe, Ishvara Ishvare, the controller of the controllers, Loka, the inhabitants of the planets, Sapalaha, with their presiding deities. He, for this reason, etasmai, unto him, haranti, offer, balim, paraphernalia for worship, adrata, with great pleasure. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Prabhupada. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is worshipped by the great demigods who are controllers of universal affairs. When he is satisfied, nothing is impossible to achieve. For this reason, all the demigods, presiding deities of different planets, as well as the inhabitants of their planets, take great pleasure in offering all kinds of paraphernalia for his worship. Purport. All Vedic civilization is summarized in this verse. All living entities, either on this planet or on other planets, have to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead by their respective duties. When he is satisfied, all necessities of life are automatically supplied. In the Vedas, it is also stated, Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadhati Kama, Katha Upanishad 2:13. From the Vedas, we understand that he is supplying everyone's necessities. And we can actually see that the lower animals, the birds and the beasts, have no business or profession, yet are not dying for want of food. They are all living in nature's way, and they all have the necessities of life provided, namely eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Human society, however, has artificially created a type of civilization which makes one forgetful of his relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Modern society even enables one to forget the Supreme Personality of Godhead's grace and mercy. Consequently, modern civilization man is always unhappy and in need of things. People do not know that the ultimate goal of life is to approach Lord Vishnu and satisfy him. They have taken this materialistic way of life as everything and have become captivated by materialistic activities. Indeed, their leaders are always encouraging them to follow this path. And the general populace, being ignorant of the laws of God, are following their blind leaders down the path of unhappiness. In order to rectify this world situation, all people should be trained in Krishna consciousness and in accordance with the Varnashram system. The state should also see that the people are engaged in satisfying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the primary duty of the state. The Krishna consciousness movement was started to convince the general populace to adopt the best process by which to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead and thus solve all problems. I have absolutely no qualification or any realization to sit here and discuss on Srimad Bhagavatam, but it's a matter of duty. I'll try to share something that will be helpful to purify myself and glorify Srimad Bhagavatam. Please pray for me. Please bless me. I could speak something meaningful to apply in my life. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shriyuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanutam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhantamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namoste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarobhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे हरिर्नाम हरिर्नाम एव केवलम कलौ नास्तेव नास्तेव गतिरन्यथा. Again, seeking blessings from practically everyone who is present here in person and on Zoom. Please bless me. Thank you so much. This is a very amazing verse. As Srila Prabhupada in the first sentence of the purport, he says that all Vedic civilization is summarized in this verse. So how the whole Vedic civilization summarized in this verse is that general populace or every living entity, if they realize the goal of life is to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then the goal of life and the process to reach the goal of life is explored if just that information is shared with anyone. But as soon as the living entity is born, especially in the human race, what is shared? What is the goal of life? Is to earn money as much as possible. That is the goal of life. Why? Because money is equal to happiness. That is what we are pounded. We are told again and again, if you don't have money, you can't be happy. I'm not trying to minimize the value of money, but money is not equal to happiness. It is needed, but it cannot be the sole goal of our life. I think it's a very famous statement. One's richness, or how rich is that person, measured by how many things that person has that money cannot buy, like love, compassion, tolerance, faith, spirituality. All of these things money has virtually no direct, contribution to that. Bhakti is not dependent on anything external. It is very easy to speak when you are, others are listening. It is so difficult to put into practice and and you know apply this principle into our lives on a day-to-day basis. If all of us are convinced that the goal of life is to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then we will not be hankering, or we will not be doing things that are contrary to that are averse to that will not help that goal. And we don't really need to go into the details, but we all know the modern civilization, the consumerism, the you know capitalism, the pseudo socialism, the secularism, all of this actually takes us miles and miles away from our real goal of life. Everything else is glorified and um, glorified and pushed people towards anything but not spirituality, not, you know, serving God. This shloka, especially in this purport, Srila Prabhupada very nicely describes that everything is supplied by the Supreme Personality of Godhead when you satisfy Him. Most of the things that are most valuable for us to live, if we see, it is provided to us with no cost or very little cost. Sunshine, the air, the water, rainwater, the the food grains that are grown. If you have a piece of land and some seeds you put in, it doesn't cost anything to really grow. Once you put it in, well, then you harvest and eat. Srila Prabhupada used to say that 1 acre of land, one cow, one family can live in rest of their life. And for the same reason, Srila Prabhupada wanting to come back to Gita Nagari and show um, devotees how to live off of land. And this is the prediction that at one point in time, this artificial civilization that is created by the modern, you know, uh, society is going to collapse sooner or later. It is just the matter of time. And sooner we understand the um, temporary nature and the critical situation that we are in, we are on a time bomb that is ticking every second. Even if the material situation is so good, everything is provided to what we need, but how long can we continue this life? There is definitely an end to it. We are seeing people around us leaving. We are seeing things are happening to those who are even way younger than us. Accidents, cancer, so many other situations that we have all come across. But somehow or the other, I can speak for myself that sincerity, the seriousness is not there. And we think, oh, whatever I'm doing to the best of my ability is good, is good enough. Krishna is very merciful. Krishna is very compassionate. Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardhan. We give all kinds of excuses. I give all kinds of excuses and all kinds of reasons not to become more sincere and justify my efforts. This is the best I can offer. Krishna, take this. This is what I can do for you. And that is what is holding me back. There's a lot that, you know, I can definitely, improve upon. Here, Srila Prabhupada also says that the birds and the beasts have no business or profession. In the name of social etiquette and the minimum living standards and so many other unnecessary nonsense, we have, put ourselves into a, um, that this spider, or it creates a web, and then in that web it itself gets entangled and can't come out after creating, and then loses the life in the same way. So same way, someone, I think it was Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur or Prabhupada gives the example of someone who is holding the big tree, you know, tightly, and saying to the tree that leave me. I am the one who is holding. How will the tree let us go? So we really have to um, take inventory of the priorities that we have. The bhakti or spirituality is introspection, internal. You know, how much does it cost to have a dhoti, kurta, tilak, mala, kanthi, or bead bag? How much does it cost? Few dollars. But what is inside, that's what matters. What is really, what is really your aspiration? It is easy to say, oh, I want to follow Rupa Goswami and this and that, so many high principles. But what is really in action? What is on the ground? What are we really utilizing our 24 hours that is given to us? That is what determines. One devotee was sharing so nicely that, when you sit for 2 hours chanting and you say, no, no, I am going to do the best chanting possible. But that 2 hours chanting is dependent on how you spend the last 22 hours. And the next day's 2 hours is dependent on the remaining 22 hours that is left after the chanting today. So it is not a switch, it is not something that you can just make it happen. It is a lifestyle, it is a commitment, day to day, minute by minute, moment by moment. We are having or offered a multiple choice question. And are we doing things that is bringing closer to Krishna or bringing away from Krishna? That's what determines our our destination or our overall spiritual growth or advancement. This shloka also has a similar. Uh, Anyone can think of any other shloka that is similar to this or has a similar um, meaning or understanding? Does anyone want to guess? Or Yeah, I was trying to find that out, that shloka. Which one is that? Is it part of Bhagavatam? Yeah, we have heard that. I was trying to search that also. Tasmin tuste jagat tushta. Prabhupada also uses this several times. But in Bhagavad Gita, there is a shloka. Srila Prabhupada says, this is the solution for the spiritual United Nations. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram surudam sarvabhutanam gnatva mam shanti mृच्छति. This shloka also more or less encompasses or shares the same uh, mood or understanding, that I'll read the translation quickly. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme personal, supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. And in the translation and the purport, Prabhupada says, the conditioned souls within the clutches of the illusory energy are all anxious to attain peace in the material world. But they do not know the formula of peace, which is explained in this part of Bhagavad Gita. The greatest peace formula is simply this. Lord Krishna is the beneficiary in all human activities. Man should offer everything to transcendental service of the Lord because he is the proprietor of all planets and the demigods thereon. No one is greater than he. He is greater than the greatest of the demigods, Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. In the Vedas, Svetashvatara Upanishad 6.7, the Supreme Lord is described as Tam Ishwaranam Paramam Maheshwaram. Under the spell of illusion, living entities are trying to be lords of all they survey. But actually, they are dominated by the material energy of the Lord. The Lord is the master of material nature, and the conditioned souls are under the stringent rules of material nature. Unless one understands these bare facts, it is not possible to achieve peace in the world, either individually or collectively. This is the sense of Krishna consciousness. Lord Krishna is the supreme predominator, and all living entities, including the great demigods, are his subordinates. One can attain perfect peace only in complete Krishna consciousness. So, the context of the shloka in Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita are more or less giving us the same understanding that everything that one needs to do is in the service of Krishna or pleasing Supreme Personality of Godhead. King Vena is approached by this group of sages, knowing that the precarious condition or the situation that the general populace has been put in by this king. And we will further see that after pleading and explaining this, that okay, you should allow people to do sacrifice, you should be more spiritual, more considering the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the um, benefactor of all your sacrifice, all your activities. We will come to know, or we'll read further, that the king is so averse to the idea of serving God that he's saying that you all are behaving like having an extramarital affair. I am the one who is your husband, I am the one providing everything. And instead of recognizing my contribution, you guys are saying, worship God, worship God. I am the one who is doing everything for you. So instead of recognizing me, you're telling me to worship God. Hey, that much degraded consciousness one could have, even though we can understand straight that if sun doesn't rise, if the air doesn't flow or give the oxygen, we are nowhere. The simple understanding that there is an intelligent design that is out there, which is controlling and regulating and maintaining the laws of nature. And when there are laws, there is a lawmaker. Laws are just not put in place on its own. The ocean doesn't cross its limit. Three-fourths of the our earth is covered by water. What is what is the, what way we could really stop if the water starts to evade the earth? There is no possibility. There is nothing. The flooding or the great floods described in Bhagavatam at the time of devastation, everything is covered by water. So, for us to really take this process seriously and sincerely is the only way out, utilizing this human birth in service of Krishna, in service of Guru, Sadhu, with the injunctions of Shastra, that we don't want to whimsically manufacture anything on our own. Everything is given. What is the goal of life? How to achieve? What are the ways? And by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and with the teachings of Lord Chaitanya and all the predecessor acharyas, that this process is so much made so much easier, simpler, you know. Uh, if we think of 500 years back, how much they had to struggle to just get one set of Bhagavatam from one place to the other. You know, this Narottam Das Thakur and Shyamanand Pandit, so many of them, they went for a, you know, bullock cart load of scriptures. They had so much of struggle. It was stolen. But for us, everything is right there in our palm, even on our phone, Vedabase, so many other apps, so many literature, so many audio lectures. One devotee was sharing that even if we had one line of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur recorded, audio recorded, how much um, how much we would cherish that and we would listen to that line again and again if that audio was available to us. So, same way, Srila Prabhupada very compassionately and very lovingly has given so many lectures, so many books he has written. It is our utmost duty, it is our duty actually to read this, and we have to come out of our debt. We cannot really come out. We cannot really pay our debt to Srila Prabhupada and our acharyas, our gurus. But by attempting to read them, by reading them, by hearing their discourses and implementing it in our lives is the way how we can repay them, how we can, attempt to repay. Um, It's 9:04. I think that's what I kind of plan to speak. This is a very wonderful verse where the sages are telling or pleading to King Vena that, this is what you need to do. This is what is the goal of life. You have to do it, and you have to facilitate your subordinates, your, praja, to do that. And that is the current section where we are reading. Um, if there are any further comments or anything that needs correction, please share your point of view. Otherwise, we will pause it here. Thank you so much for the opportunity to serve, and very grateful for your presence here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, that was Pranam. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Prabhuji, I really liked the point where you said how external is how many dollars you can buy kanthi, tilak, dhoti, sari. But what really matters is what we are doing with the 24 hours that we have each day, and how important it is to utilize those 24 hours in service of Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very nice point. And
Thank you.
for
Thank you.
self reflection. Thank you.
Haribol. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Oh,
Prabhuji.
thank you so much.
Very, very insightful and importance of seriousness. So pray for me that I'll become more serious. Hare Krishna.
You're very exemplary, Prabhu. Thank you for
No,
your
no, no, no.
information.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Hare. Okay, we'll end here. Thank you so much. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो
Vaishnavyo namo namo. Anantakoti Vaishnava.
नमः।